Hey dolls, welcome back to your Royal BFF, the People's Duchess. How's it going? Happy hump day. We have made it to the middle of the week. Give yourselves a round of applause. Wednesdays kind of gets a bad rap, but I like Wednesdays, especially today where the streets have been abuzz with the upcoming Sussex Australia trip. Everyone has been waiting with bated breath over their itinerary, and we finally get one of their first stops. Meghan's doing this retreat. It's being billed as a retreat, and I don't necessarily know what that is. My understanding of a retreat is like a wellness retreat where you're doing yoga and, salt baths and stuff like that. But this is probably something different. I can't tell. So I'm really excited to see what the actual contents of the retreat might be. I don't know that we'll see it televised. Similarly to whatever event that was where she was in that beautiful green dress with the purple shoes. Yeah, I don't think that we'll see it televised. I think that we'll get some pictures of it after the fact. I pondered this in the last episode. If you haven't watched it, go back and watch Harry and Meghan Spin the Block on Australia, where I said, I don't think we're going to see a lot of pictures or videos coming out of this because this is a private trip. They're doing business down there. And yeah, a piece of philanthropy is going to be included, but primarily it's a personal trip. My favorite aspect of this whole thing is the price tag. Yes, our Duchess has said today's price is not yesterday's price, okay? The price has gone up, and I am here for it. I'm here for it. I've always said, ladies, know your worth, then add tax. When she was in the royal family, they literally worked her like a mule for free. She paid her own way. No one was funding her. She dealt with constant scrutiny of being a taxpayer funded this and being on the taxpayer's dime that. And behind the scenes, she was the one whipping out her credit card to purchase everything because they even had Harry living like a slave on slave stipends. This is such retribution because this is her caliber. This is her worth. This is what she should have been charging the whole time for access to her. She's an elite, and not one of these elites that make you want to not have children or end the human race. She's an ethical elite. She worked hard to be where she is. She didn't have anything handed to her. And her and Harry both deserve happiness, financial freedom, and success, given that they were so disenfranchised when they were under the thumb of the royals. So this is great. This is great. The smile that went from ear to ear when I saw that price tag. I don't know if you can tell, but I am grinning like a leprechaun. I was watching Elizabeth Solaro the other day. Shout out to Elizabeth. And she made a very interesting point that Martha Stewart had built her brand over decades. So had Gwyneth Paltrow and some of the other lifestyle experts that we applaud today. And not to compare at all, right? There's no competition here. I hope all women win. But the fact that Meghan took under a year to accomplish what some of the biggest lifestyle gurus have in decades says a lot. It tells you a lot about the efficacy of her brand. She has a lot of people that followed her over from the Tig. Famously, the Netflix premiere for her show was full of Tiglets in New York. So she had that built-in fan base and that trust from millions of people prior to ever becoming the CEO of As Ever, which came in really clutch. And her financial success will never not tickle me. I am so tickled by the meltdown over the price. I have thoroughly enjoyed watching squatty commentary on the cash-strapped royal adjacent UK poors melt down over how pricey this retreat is. But I mean, this is the standard cost of the retreat itself. And I think that they just added Meghan and that luxury package with the VIP meet and greet. This is the standard cost of entry when you're talking about royalty here. And let's be real, Meghan's the only one who wasn't wheeling and dealing and capitalizing on her title. Her and Harry are the only two royals, as it turns out, who aren't and weren't exchanging clout and access for money. Harry especially could have taken this route given that they gave him so little in that family, but no, he went into the service, fought for his country, and did things the right way, as does Meghan. Harry and Meghan are the only royals who earn a living. And this whole trip really elaborates the fact that they give back so much. All of the royal tours elaborate that. And I think that's really at the heart of the freakouts and the meltdowns. It's the fact that Australia has already been on the verge of republicanism and a referendum for decades now. And they're worried that Harry and Meghan's visit might trigger a full-on referendum, like bringing that to Parliament. But that's not a Harry and Meghan problem. That's a you problem. You guys are the ones who have acted so disgustingly and disregarded the people to the extent that they now want to break free from you. They are tired of watching you guys protect predators. They're tired of watching you guys sweep things under the rug, have these very nonchalant, very dismissive statements about the very serious nature of the crimes committed by your members, by your high-ranking members. Even the king was selling cash for honors back there. Like, everyone's sick of that. They don't want this anymore, and you can't blame Harry and Meghan for coming along and shining a light on the fact that it doesn't have to be this way. They're just existing, and you can see from their existence that the monarchy is not necessary. And that's a monarchy problem. Y'all are in this situation because you have not done anything in the way of being likable or making yourself necessary and indisposable to anyone. If you think these up and coming generations are going to be satisfied with you just showing up to a place for 20 minutes in expensive clothes that you forced them to pay for, then you've got another thing coming. And that's a you problem, babes. I think that the way that they move right now, they kind of want the monarchy to end. Right now, their lives depend on them doing better. And they're like, nah, I'm going to be pretentious about this too. I'm going to let it ride. I'm going to let it do whatever it do. So for me, that signals that you actually don't care if the monarchy ends or not. You're not doing anything to prevent its downfall. In fact, you're going in the opposite direction. You're working less. You're making more excuses for working less. You're giving us a lot more nonsense about working less. And the work isn't even nothing. It's just showing up to a place. So if you can't even show up to a place anymore, I feel like that's being done very deliberately. It's giving concerted effort. It's giving silent protest. It's giving, I'm going to let the wheels fall off because I too am sick and tired of this nonsense. I think they just can't come right out and say, abolish the monarchy, I don't care, for obvious reasons. But right now, the palaces are all acting like they couldn't care less if the monarchy is abolished. It's definitely giving let it burn. And it's interesting. It's really interesting to watch. I have so much faith in millennials, zillennials, Gen Z, Gen Alpha upcoming, that they will get the job done. So I will definitely be looking forward to that, enjoying all the buzz around the Australia trip. I am going to be living vicariously. I'm going to be well and relaxed vicariously through Meghan at the retreat. And I want to leave you guys with a clip. It's one of my favorites. It really highlights exactly why Meghan is in the position that she's in. This was the Royal Foundation Forum 2018. We were all a bit gagged to see Meghan there. It was so unprecedented at the time how much access she had to the royal events and being brought into the royal fold prior to her getting married. Up until Meghan, no royal bride had ever achieved that. They all had to wait after their weddings, or in some people's cases, way after their weddings, before they got their first engagement with the queen, and so on and so forth. So Meghan really has no peers in that she is the first one to achieve these things, and this video is a really good highlight of why.
No, and I think right now in the climate that we're seeing with so many campaigns, I mean, with Me Too and Time's Up, there is no better time than to really continue to shine a light on women feeling empowered and people really helping to support them, men included in that. I mean, it makes such a tremendous difference. So if we know how, and I certainly know how passionate I am, and Harry and I see the world so similarly in our approach of being very hands-on with things, what I can say is that I have been fortunate enough to meet with some incredible women and organizations in general in the UK that are doing work here, but then also knowing that some of the work that I've done in the past has been in Commonwealth countries like Rwanda, India. So this reach, I think, can have some really nice legs to it once we can start. But
After
I guess,
May.
yes, exactly. To be continued.
Okay.
But we're really looking forward to working as a pair and as a four going forward, and hoping to make as much of a difference where we can. So there's a hell of a lot of work to do.
Working with sort of Harry with doing a lot with knife crime, but with a lot with homelessness,
for me with sort of addiction and things. And I just think being able to sort of come together to find some sort of common ground, and be able to sort of draw ideas together and find a way forward, I think was really, really exciting.
The future Queen of England, ladies and gentlemen. Like, share, and subscribe. Be kind to yourselves. Bye for now.
What?